Hey everyone, it's Mary from SVG Cuts. I'm super excited about my newest project for Christmas. Can't believe it's already that time of year, and hopefully you're enjoying yourself and having some good time crafting. I have 5 new projects. I've got a big gift bag. Here's the other one that I made. I gave it a curly Q handle. It's pretty cool because of the designs on the back. It's got a reinforced top and it's got a liner on the inside so that it just looks finished off and nice. It comes with an optional tag. I did not tie it on, but if you want to use the tag with it, super cool. This little gift bag kind of looks like a tag itself. Really happy with the way that it came out. And you can definitely use this beyond Christmas. You could give it any kind of theme, obviously, if you need a bag for something. So just depending on the colors that you use and the pattern papers that you use, that should be pretty versatile. Oh, I also have an idea for this. This could definitely be for winter since it's got the snowflake design on it. But with the popularity of the icy, snowy princesses that are out there, you could do that, pastel kind of princess theme too. So I also have a new box card. I know if you're watching this immediately after it's out, it might be a little late for you to be making Christmas cards, but if you want to make a couple, still not really too late. But anyway, I'm really happy with the way that this came out. It's another box card design, so it folds flat to go inside its envelope. Here's one inside the envelope. Pops out, looks super cute. I'm pretty sure if you made this for someone, it would be a treasured piece of decor, and I'm loving it, loving it. Then, of course, Toy Soldier. Gotta love him. I'm really happy with the way that he came out too. And I made him so that he coordinates with our existing Nutcracker. So the Nutcracker that I designed a couple years back, he is in the same proportion, same style, but he's different. He's a little taller, his arms are bent, his legs are longer, his jacket's a little different. So this is this is not part of this. This is from a few years ago, but they will look cute together. So I'm glad that he has a new friend. Then we also have this cute little guy, which is easy breezy to whip up in a snap, and you can fit 2 on one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So the red box part is just one piece, and you can fit 2 of them on one 12 by 12 paper. So hopefully that comes in handy for you if you want to whip out some extra little goodies, little bags for goodies for people within the next couple weeks. Hopefully that's fun. So the paper that I used this time is by Cartabella. It's called Santa's Workshop, and super cool. It doesn't say by Stephen Duncan, but it definitely looks like Stephen Duncan's style. So I'm not quite sure about that, but I would put some money on it being by Stephen Duncan, who I love. I think he's my favorite artist of all time, maybe, as far as a lot of stuff goes. I just love kind of the shadows that he puts to make things look kind of dimensional and retro, yet unique to him. So I don't know, just love it. But like I always say, whatever kind of paper you want to use is going to look awesome. I'm sure you have some Christmas patterned papers in your stash, especially if you've been doing crafts for very long at all. So a lot of these too, you could get away with not needing very much pattern paper. So I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how they all go together, so let's get started. First of all, for our Santa bag, I've got my finished one here. Nice and easy peasy, and it's nice how you can fit 2 of these on one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. I went ahead and folded it along the score lines, and I also went ahead and glued my cheeks onto my eyes and mouth part here like this. I've got a really festive little pipe cleaner there, this oval, and then here's the embossing folder that I used. It's by Doris. It's called Ranunculus. If you're not familiar with embossing folders, they look like this, and there's a pattern inside that has a texture to it, and when you put paper inside and crank it through an embossing machine, it adds texture to those shapes. So that's what I did with this trim piece for the beard, you can see here, as well as this hat trim and this circle. So I went ahead and did that already for those pieces. I also have my eyebrows here, and I went ahead and glued my nose onto my mustache, which is a weird thing to say. And then we've got this piece also. So I'm actually going to go ahead and glue this closed. Then I'll make my Santa face and glue that onto the front of the bag. So I'll just put a line of glue along this tab here. And I'm using my favorite glue that I have been using forever. It's called Quick Dry Tacky Glue by Scotch. It's got two different kinds of packaging. This is the white version. There's also a red label package version. I do have some more info on my website, on my blog, if you are interested. I get that question quite a bit, so I don't really normally talk about the glue, but just in case you are wondering, the best way to find that would probably be to do a search for SVG cuts and favorite glue, Scotch, and you will see that post on my blog. I can't even tell you guys how many things have been delaying this filming of this video, including this. How can I get mad at this precious kitty cat here? I can't, but mama ain't got time for shenanigans right now. Sorry, Winnie. Okay, so as you can see, I put glue on those bottom tabs, and I'm folding that bottom up. Then I can set it down and press down on those from the inside. Okay, I opened a window and she's entertained for now by that. Thank goodness. Next, I'm going to glue this piece behind this one so that there is a small border here. So I'll put some glue, just a dot here and a dot here. Just like that. And then I'll put a line of glue around the edge of this opening, as well as some on those dots there, and glue this oval onto the back, just like this. Next, I'm going to glue this piece right onto the beard. You could either glue it on, or if you want, you could use some dimensional adhesive. One of my favorites is by Thermoweb. They're called 3D Zots, and they're sticky dots that just add some nice dimension if you want, which is usually not a bad thing, but optional. I'm going to do the same thing with the hat trim. And put that right on top. Then I'm going to glue my eyebrows. The part on the eyebrow where it kind of tapers off more, that's the outer part. So we know that that's going to go right there. So I'm going to put just a little glue on the top. And line it up just like that. Then I'm going to use another dimensional adhesive dot behind the nose. And glue it, affix it right there, as well as with the circle. If you want to bend the mustache forward a little bit, it's kind of cute. And then we just want to glue this centered here. This little corner can line up with this corner here with that one. So we want it to be centered, lined up, just like that, without getting your glue too close to the edge, the side edges. Just like that. So this guy kind of coordinates with some Halloween designs that are similar. I have some Halloween guys like this called the Candy Gang. There's a mummy, Frankenstein, pumpkin. So in that same style, I wanted to do a cute Santa. Now this is optional, and I have this gel pen. It's a white gel pen by Sakura. It's called Jelly Roll 8. I have a link to it on the product page for this project. And I'm just going to draw 2 little dots on his eyes up there. Just makes him look a little more lifelike, as if there was a reflection in his eyes. And then I'll just push this through about 1/4 of an inch and just bend it just like that. Nice and simple, easy peasy, festive. Next, for the Santa Train box card, if you take a look at the PDF document that comes with your download, you will see this diagram down here at the bottom of its page, which shows you what the front and the back of the train look like, as well as the insert with Santa's face here, these doodads, the front with the headlight, and then this part gets folded over, and this is the back of the train. So if you want to refer to that while you're putting yours together, I did go ahead and start to glue mine together like that. So I have all these pieces here. I've got this guy, star. I went ahead and glued this thin ring on the top of the largest wheel. Then I've got the 2 other wheels. Then I've got these 3 pieces that are going to go on the front of the train, as well as this one, about like that. And I went ahead and folded the front of my train, this part down, as well as these 2 side tabs over, as well as the back over. And I glued this onto it, as well as this back panel here. And then I've also got the back side of the train. I went ahead and folded over the side tab, and I folded this down, and I folded this down. I went ahead and glued this trim, as well as this back panel and the center part, which I stamped on also. Then again, just like in the diagram, I've got this part here. These circles are smaller. I glued this ring on top of the other ring here, which you can see it's kind of tough to not get glue on the shiny paper. It's really kind of a challenge, but as you can see, that's smaller than this, so you can tell which one is which. And I also glued these 2 side parts on. Then I went ahead and glued that star on top of the other one. So the stars and the holly, you can glue on however you want. You don't have to do it the same way that I've done it. Then for this insert piece, I went ahead and glued these 2 black pieces onto it, and I folded the sides over. This is just 1 piece of red. I also glued this panel on, and this shiny part up here, and that one too. Just like in the diagram, but without the Santa face just yet. Then I've got some bling here that I'm going to be using kind of at the end. This is from Michaels, and if you want to check out the product page for more details, you can, but anything similar is cool. I've also seen these on Amazon by Doris, almost the exact same thing. They might be the exact same thing. And then these are from Queen & Company. I'm not really seeing them online anymore, but anything similar will be adorable that you want to use. Then I've got all my little pieces in my envelope here too, which are the eyes, the cheeks, these berries. I went ahead and glued 3 of them onto the little bottom part. So there's 3 clusters with clustered bases, which I went and glued 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on top of those. Then there are 3 remaining, which are the same exact size, and those are going to go in the middle of the wheels Then I've got 4 holly leaves in this circle, which goes inside the center front of the headlight in case you don't have some big bling that you want to put there. There's a circle so that it's not bare. Then I've got some small white pieces and skin tone pieces for my Santa for his face. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the front together the way that it shows in that diagram. And all these openings on the wheel are the same size, so it doesn't matter which way you turn it. But you can go ahead and put some glue on the back of it. And put that right down there, just like that. Sometimes when I'm using shiny paper, just to keep from getting it all fingerprinty, I will use my sleeve. I don't know if that's good or not. Next, I'm going to glue this piece on to the front. And this corner lines up right here. And it goes just like that. I probably goofed and got glue out here. Yes, I did. A little bit. Now you can put your wheels on. I goofed up and put them on first a second ago. And both of the wheels are identical and their openings are the same, so it doesn't matter how you align them. Then these pieces will go like this. That's the flat side. The wide one goes in the middle, and then the curved skinny one goes on the end. So just glue those right in the center there. Then we can put a dot of glue on these 3 circle areas, and I will just kind of take some off because since the foil paper is not very porous, it has a tendency to ooze out the sides. Then I'll take 3 of my tiny little pieces here. You can glue these onto the 1, 2, 3 centers of the tires, unless you're going to be using something that's going to cover them up anyway, which I am. So I'm going to skip that step and put these cute little red glitter dots from Queen & Company on here. But of course, anything that you want to use is going to be awesome. So the PDF also shows a red star with some holly on it. I'm going to wait till the end to put that on, just so it's not being fragile in my way. Next, I'm going to put my Santa's face together. So I'll do 2 dots on this black part with the cheeks and the lip on top, just like that. Then I'll take this piece and put a dot of glue there and there. And line that up just like that, so that there's that little gap down below. Then I'll put a dot of glue on the nose spot and glue this itty bitty little oval right onto there. I don't think I usually have pieces this small in my projects, but this little guy is too cute to it's just too cute. So I hope it's not too tricky to glue these little guys together. So then I'll just glue that right onto the front just like that. If you want, you can add a little dot. I have a white gel pen. I think it's really cute to add a little like gleam in his eye. It's not really right in the center, it's kind of up to the top right a little bit. That's just how I think it looks cute. Then we can put a little glue on these eyebrows and glue them on. Just like this. Then we could just glue that right onto the face, but to add a little dimension, I have some small dimensional squares. These are 3D foam squares by Scrapbook Adhesives. I think they have updated the packaging possibly since I got these. But if you are interested in that, I did link to them on Amazon on the page for this project on svgcuts.com. I get the mixed variety. It's one of those things where some of the listings for them on Amazon are like ridiculously expensive for some reason. Must be like outdated or something weird. But if you click where I have it linked to, you'll see the normal price for them. Which is, I don't know, like $5 or something. I kind of forget. So I glued that piece on the back there. Then I'm going to use another little adhesive guy to pop this thing off a little bit, add some cute dimension, and then I'll just be putting this right here so you can see how that lines up just like that. I'm just going to put glue right there. And line that up. So if you're watching this video immediately after it's been posted on YouTube and on my website, I realize that it's a little bit late days for a Christmas card for a lot of people, especially one this detailed, especially if you wanted to make a lot of them. I did have a lot of things happen that set me back time-wise, so I really wanted to have all of these out there a lot earlier than they were, including this video too, so I'm sorry about that. It seems like a lot of little things have been taking my time away from what I love to do, which is make new projects. So next I'm going to put some glue here, especially this whole silhouette thing. The Silhouette Studio software, the upgraded versions such as Designer Edition and Business Edition, anything that's more advanced than the basic software where you can import SVG files. After a recent update, my designs have been importing off the mat, so I've been trying to fix them as I can. You can still find them if you select them on your mat and enter like a 6 and a 6 in the X and Y position fields. but I have a lot of people who think that the files are empty because they're not seeing them on their mat. And so I've been dealing with a lot of questions about that and feeling bad that my designs are not as user-friendly as they always have been for silhouette people. So that's not fun, and it's taken me away from stuff, as well as other issues. Like for some reason I got blacklisted email-wise by Microsoft. That's not good. Okay, Winnie, I can't right now. I just can't. For no good reason. So tons of emails were getting bounced back, like order confirmation, password resets, inquiries. So for 4 days, I wasn't able to email anyone with any kind of Hotmail address or live.com address or att.net or SBC Global. It's been a big old struggle, technology-wise. Ain't nobody got time for that. So this is going to go on the inside just like this, and as you can see, the tab here is, the top of the tab is flush with the opening of the window there, and then the back of the tab is flush with the back of the box. Same thing over here. The top of this tab here, the top corner of it is flush with the top, and the back of it here, the back is flush with this line here. So we want to glue that on the inside just like that. So if you've made box cards from SVG Cuts before, that is the way that they all go together. Some people like to put this insert in before they close up the box, which I understand, but sometimes when I do it that way, it just doesn't fold flat as well for some reason. I don't know if it's me or what, but if you feel like you're more of an advanced paper crafter and you want to do it that way and you understand what I'm talking about, feel free. You can always feel free to do things the way that you want to do them. If you think something works better or makes more sense to you, by all means. So before it's completely dry, I'm going to make sure I can fold it flat both ways, and I can. So that's awesome. It looks really cute. I'm so happy with this little design. It reminds me of a ceramic bank that I had that my grandma painted for me when I was a kid that I always had on display in my room. So now I've got my 2 little berry clusters that I already glued together, as well as my holly leaves, which I'm sure is going to be so enticing for my friend here. And I folded the other leaves already, but to fold them, you can just try to fold them in half, that's completely fine. But I did take my bone folder and I made a harsh line down them. I even kind of curved that line a little bit, so then when I fold it in half, it's kind of cute. And it still has a bit of a flat surface for gluing onto it. So if you would like to glue your holly leaves just like this onto the back, I glued the leaves and the berries onto this star. It's the smaller of the two, and I used a dimensional dot behind there to pop it off the back. And then same thing over here. I have the larger star with this panel, the same deal, and I have them popped off with these dimensional 3D foam squares by Scrapbook Adhesives. Next, for my envelope here, I went ahead and folded along all 4 folded areas, and this largest flap is the top, these 2 are the sides, and this is the bottom. So to glue it together, we can put some glue here and here. Hey, come on. Winnie, I don't have time for aggressive cat games. I'm sorry. That's how we glue that together. Someone's got cabin fever. Not that she leaves the house, but maybe she needs fresh air or something. Then you can put your card inside. So to do that, I will just fold it flat like this. I suppose you could, this way makes it a little bit narrower. However, it will also fit this way. It might look a little cuter coming out of the card, out of the envelope this way. So you just want to flatten it out and then very carefully insert it into your envelope, close it up, and there you go. Next, for the Snowflake bag, I've got these two pieces, which are the tag. It's optional. It's just cute, just a basic tag. Don't have to use it if you don't feel like it. Then I've got the center panel here, as well as the side panels. The side panels, which I already glued onto the two sides, which are identical. I went ahead and folded on these score lines along the top, side, and the bottom, and I glued the side panels on. Then I've also got the back panel, which I went ahead and glued onto the back, which I also folded over on the bottom, side, and top. Then I've got this front panel here, which I did not yet glue onto the front of the bag. The top is folded over, as well as the side and the bottom. Then I've got this insert center here, and this piece is going to get glued right onto it. They line up nicely, so there's no gluing of small pieces. It's just simple and straightforward. The insert has two rings that go around it. We're going to be gluing these two inserts together to form a ring, and you want the inside tabs a valley fold like this, and you're going to want these inner tabs to be a valley fold. Then these outer tabs will be a regular fold, which is also referred to as a mountain fold. So these are identical. They're going to get glued together like this, and the insert is going to go on the inside, which will go inside the front of the bag. And then I've also got some liners. So these are optional, but it finishes off your project on the inside of the front of your bag. So you can do that if you want, but you don't have to. It's up to you. Then I went in my wire stash and I found this wire that I purchased last year or possibly the year before, which would be 2017 or 2016. They may no longer have this at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I'm not quite sure. So if you're in love with it and they don't, I'm sorry. Luckily, my cat is done harassing me. Otherwise, this would be really tough to keep her under control with that in the picture. So first I'm going to glue these insert sides together, side to side, with some glue on that tab, and glue that together just like that. As well as on the other side. So it doesn't matter which way you've got it oriented. These short sides, this, and this are all equally sized. And then here, here, and here, here, those are all equally sized too. So if you have it like that, same thing. Same with the way that this is. Next I'm going to take the front of my bag and put it face down. And I'm going to be gluing this insert right onto it. So I'm going to anchor it down. first. So I'm just carefully lining it up so that the corners and the edges are meeting up nicely. Then I'll do the same thing up here. Then I'll get the two sides down, and then I'll glue the rest of the tabs down into place. Now for the remaining 8 tabs, I'll just lift them up, put some glue down, and glue them down. Maybe make sure that they're lining up nicely and get them all glued down. Next, I'm going to glue my insert into place, just like that. So first I'll anchor down the top and line it up really nicely with one of these long edges. So again, there's a long edge on the top, bottom, and sides. Then the corners are shorter edges. So that lines up just right there. Next, I'm going to fold the 8 corners out of the way, put some glue on them, and work kind of quickly to fold them over and flip it over and then press that down. Next, we're going to glue this insert on the inside here, and you want one of the long sides. So there's a long side, long side, long side, long side. You want one of those long sides to be at the top, and you want that center lined up, and you want these holes to be lining up. So this is the right way to put it. If I rotate it this way, it's not lining up right. If I rotate it again, then it is. So this piece does have a specific top and bottom. So it can either go this way or it can go this way. However, it cannot go this way. So kind of get yourself mentally prepped for where you're going to be putting it. Then you can go ahead and put some glue on the back side, which I already did. I let it dry because I got mixed up a minute ago. And you can be as meticulous as you want with your glue. And line it up nicely, just like that. Next, I'm going to glue one of my sides onto the front here by putting some glue along this long side tab. And lining that up nice and carefully. Then you can put some glue up on this top tab here. And fold that over. Then we can put, if you're using a liner, you can put it on at this point. And it doesn't matter if it's going this way or this way or this way. So make sure that it's centered, it's not sticking up over the top edge or over the side fold, so that it still folds properly at the top and the bottom and the sides. And glue that down. And then you can glue this piece on so that it lines up. Just like so. Then we can go ahead and put this front panel on. Just like that. Next, you can glue one of your other sides on. Feels more comfortable to me to kind of anchor it at the top and bottom, up in the air a little bit. And then once it's not going to slip out of place, you can turn it over. Then since this tab is down, we can go ahead and fold this over. If you have a bone folder or something similar that you like, it's just a piece of plastic basically that's kind of tapered. If you want to get more of a sharp crease on a fold, sometimes it's handy. Then we can put our back on the same way. Then I will crease this a little more, make it behave a little better the way that I want it to, and fold this over. Then we can close up our bag with some glue along this side tab here. So I'll just fold this around and again kind of anchor it at the top and bottom, letting it take hold a little bit before I put it side down so that I can press down from the inside. Then I'll just put some glue on this final top tab and close that up. So as you can see, the bottom tabs here are all folded over. I've got these two bottom pieces, which are identical. And the easy way to do this, I think, is to put a line of glue around the edge of one. And then carefully put that into the bottom of your project. So I've glued it down onto those tabs. Might need a little extra help on that one there, but the piece that we just glued in is just a liner, so if it's not completely glued down, you can, if you would like to kind of fix that, if that happens to you, you could do that. I'm just going to go for it and glue this final rectangle onto the bottom. So there's our super cute bag with nice reinforced top. I don't know why mine's coming undone right there. But if you want to tie that tag on, you could stamp on it, write on it, or not. And then if you wanted to use your wire, you could. Normally I would unfurl this in a nice even arch, but I'm gonna get completely wild and just kind of straighten it first, and then I'm just gonna pull it directly apart and see if it makes a cool curly Q. Wish me luck. Let's see. It's pretty darn festive. I don't know how well it's gonna arch as a handle, but we'll see. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. So whatever you want to do is cool. You could use a ribbon, raffia, depending on the style of your paper, what have you. But if you are attaching some wire, it's up to you how you exactly want to do it, but I think it works to just kind of loop it through, being careful not to damage your paper. So I'm just feeding it through with enough excess to twist it around at least once. And then you can kind of finagle it how you like it. Maybe tie a ribbon or something on also. Next, for the tag bag, I've got the pieces here. I've got 3 circles for the berries. I've got 3 different sizes of stars in this seal shape, as well as 2 holly leaves. And the way that I folded that, you could just fold it in half if you want, but I like to do kind of like a slightly curved line with my bone folder. If you have something similar, some kind of a firm edge that's not too sharp, you can kind of do that, leaving like a flat surface so you can glue them together. So that'll be going on at the very end. We'll worry about that later. Then I also have this little circle, these 2 shapes. The one with the larger hole is the interior back liner, and this one with the smaller hole is the front panel. And then I have side and back panels, which I went ahead and glued onto my bag shape. So here's the two main pieces of my bag, bag 1 and bag 2. This is the back, and these are the sides. I went ahead and glued my sides and back panel onto them, just like that. And I also went ahead and folded where the score lines are. So it's shaped like this, and the bottom tabs are folded over, and the other one is identical except that it has a cutout in the front of it, just like that. Then I've also got these two pieces which are identical, and finally the bag bottom, which is this shape, and there's two of them and they're the same also. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my front panel and then I'm going to go ahead and glue these together side to side. So I'll put a long line of glue down this side tab of either one. And I'll close it up by doing the same thing on the other side. So just like this. Next I'm going to put my bag top side down, so this is the bottom of it, and it's these two sides are the same, and then these sides are the same, even though it might not look like it because it has a tendency to kind of get wacky. So what I'm going to do is anchor one of the large tabs onto one of my bottom pieces. I'm going to fold these sides out of the way so it's just easier. Basically, I'm going to be gluing one of the bottom pieces onto the inside. Starting with just one of the tabs. Next, I'm going to put a line of glue around the outside of this piece. Just like this. And tuck that inside a little bit. Fold these back over. And then flip this over. And gently let that fall into place so that the corners are lining up nicely. You can take a look and make sure it's not doing anything unexpected, and make sure that those are getting glued down. Then we'll just turn it over and glue the remaining shape onto the bottom. So your project will not have this front panel in it. right now you should have an open space here, and everything else should look the same. We're going to put this panel that I have here right now, just ignore it. We're going to put that on at the end. I jumped the gun. Now I have to do a little extra editing on this video, but that's okay. So next I'm going to put these into place. So I've got glue on all these tabs here. And I will go ahead and glue them one at a time inside my project. Just like this. So this is the back side, but the front is exactly the same. So go ahead and put the other side onto yours. And again, this piece should not be here. So now I can take my nails are like, there's so many layers of polish I can't pick paper up. It's not good. I need to be able to pick up paper. This is my back interior panel. I'm going to put some glue on it just around the edge. It doesn't need to withstand a hurricane or anything. So we'll just put that inside the back and line it up so that that hole is evenly spaced up there. Mine is like terribly crooked, but we'll pretend like it's not. Then we can go ahead, your space here, this will be an open space for you, and you're going to glue this on the inside. So to do that, you can put a line of glue around your shape like this, and then very carefully put that inside the front of your project so that it's glued down around the edge here. Then you can glue this little donut shaped piece right on the top on the front there. Then for the remaining pieces, you can arrange them however you like. I went ahead and stamped on this smaller star and added some stickles, which are, you're probably aware if you do crafts what stickles are, but I have some clear and then I have some green stickles around the edges of those, and I used a red pearl pen by Viva Decor to do some little droplets there. It's kind of like puffy paint, and I layered these up using some dimensional adhesive. For example, my favorite here, which is the 3D Zots by Thermoweb. They are extremely sticky dimensional dots. So if you use them between shapes, it adds some space between the shapes, and adding dimension is usually a cool thing. And that's about it. I also put this ribbon through here. I just looped it right through, tied it in a knot. You can use whatever you would like. And there you have it. For the toy soldier, I've got the pieces separated kind of here. If you want to follow along, I'm not going to show all the pieces in the beginning the way I normally do because there's just a lot. It's easier if they're kind of grouped. Like right now I have the hat pieces just to make up the hat. So as always, you can see in your PDF document that comes with your download, if you want to see all the shapes and everything, what they look like, that's all the shapes there. So I went ahead and separated them into the hat, and the base is separate. So as I go through the sections, I'll show you what's going on and what what section we're working on. So these are the two main pieces of the hat. These two guys are over here. We've got this, and then these two gold trim pieces. There's really not any other shapes that look like this, so hopefully it's pretty easy to identify them. And I went ahead and folded all the score lines over, just normally for them. Normally meaning like mountain fold. But now I'm going to go down this row here on the bottom of this shape and fold them all valley fold, which is backwards. So this is a valley fold, that's a mountain fold. Then I will put some glue here and close this up. Just like that. Then for this piece, it's folded, all the folded areas are just folded over. But for this bottom row, let's fold that backwards into a valley fold. And close that up too. Then you can tell which side is the front on this one because this is the tallest right here. So as you can see in the back, this is the shortest, this is the tallest. So this is the center of the front, and we want to line that up with this. So these two are going to go together. That's the center of the front, that's the tallest. So guide those bottom tabs inside there. We're going to be gluing them inside. I'll probably start with one and then glue them all down. I'm just getting these out of my way. And then glue the rest of them down with a few dots of glue. Just like that. And then we can glue our brim on. If you have some kind of round object, if you want to curve it a little bit, you can. You don't have to. And it's going to get glued right onto the front here. And then the middle one. For these gold trim pieces, as you can see, one of them is slightly longer than the other one, and they both are curved this way. So we want the shorter one actually at the bottom, and this is going to go right along flush with the bottom of the hat. So I'm going to put my seam in the back and kind of anchor it. Nice and level with the bottom. Then I'll just put some glue on the rest of it and wrap it around. So this next piece, we want it to be curving like this, kind of going in an arch so that it fits properly just underneath this line here on this. I goofed up and put it the wrong way a minute ago. So I'm going to anchor it with some glue and then wrap the rest of it around. So it doesn't really take too much glue, maybe just a couple dots, making sure there's a dot at the end, and wrap it around. Nice and snug. And all of the sides are equal, so I will just anchor this first right in the front. And then I'll put some glue on the rest of these tabs and carefully lay it into place. Next we can put these two little decor pieces on. I'm going to curve this forward slightly, just like that, and just put one dot of glue down there. I might take some off because it has a tendency to ooze out the sides on top of the foil paper. And then I will use one of these 3D foam squares by Scrapbook Adhesives to affix this to my hat with some nice dimension. Just like this, right in the front. Next I'm going to put the head together and the hair. I've got the facial features too here, but for some reason I kind of just want to do them at the end, put them on last so that they're not getting messed up at all. I don't know. And also just so you can really see them on the finished thing. I'm afraid if I put them on before the whole thing is done, I might not love the positioning of them. That, you know, if I do it that way, I don't know if that makes any sense. First I'm going to put the head together, and that is just pieces like this. These are all identical, and we're going to just glue them all together side to side. Except the top you can fold towards you on all of them. The rest of the folds are regular mountain folds. So to glue them together, all you're going to do is put some glue on all of the side tabs, and then one by one glue them into place along the side of the next one. So I'll just line that bottom up, give this first one a little extra time to dry, and then just work my way up one at a time, creating a little curved seam. So go ahead and glue them all together side to side. So I've got all the pieces glued together side to side. I'm just closing up the seam. I'm going to give this bottom one a little extra time before I glue the other ones down. So the wider opening is the top. I'm going to bend these a little more out of the way, flatten those. So next, to put the hair together, I have them laid out just like this. You can see that these seams are going to be matching up here just like this. So it's kind of the same principle as putting the head together. We're just going to do some glue on each side tab and line it up as perfectly as possible, starting with the bottom. Up to the top. Okay, so here we have the final part going in. And now if you want to decide which is the prettiest looking side, if there's anything you don't like, you can hide it in the back. And we're basically just going to glue this right on with that top even. So as long as this reaches around to the other side on both sides, it's a pretty snug fit, but that'll work. I'm really only going to glue it on these two front parts. I got way too much glue on that. Man, I really wish I could have come out with more new Christmas projects. I got so many ideas. I think I really need to hire an assistant to help me because so much of my time is getting taken up with other aspects of SVG cuts. And I still love doing all the photography and all the videos. I think that's a lot of fun, doing the actual filming and shooting. But I need help with Adobe Illustrator, someone who's good at that, maybe helping me do the updates to my existing kits. I've been taking time away to update some older stuff with solid score lines and the whole file saved as a single, whole project saved as a single file and that kind of thing. So if it's off to the side, he looks like a little funky attitude there. It's cute. So in a perfect world, I would locate the perfect person who could help me with mostly Adobe Illustrator and then answering some of your guys' emails. I do have a tendency to get quite a few of the same email questions over and over. Nothing against anyone sending those emails, but people tend to have the same thing that they need help with. So that part's not too hard, but it takes time. So maybe after the holiday rush is over with, I can refocus on locating someone to help. I've been pretty stressed out lately with so much on my plate at once. But I kind of wanted to make sure that I was capable of doing everything that I'm doing before I had someone start helping me, just so I know I have a full understanding of exactly everything that's involved, which mission accomplished, I can say that. And now I need to free up some of my time so I can be more specific with my time, so that holiday projects aren't coming out so close to the actual holiday too. That's not what I want. So yeah, thanks for listening to my story. So the hat is on the head. Now you can go ahead and put glue on these tabs and glue that 8-sided shape onto the bottom of yours. Just go ahead and cover this all with glue and just pop that octagon right onto the bottom. Next, I'm going to take these 3 pieces out. It's a little bit different than these two. There's 2 like this, and then there's 2 larger like this. I'm going to put these smaller ones to the side for a minute. And I'm going to take this piece here, put some glue on the side tab, glue that closed. And then this one that's got the hole in it here, this tab has a hole in it. That's to signify that that's the back. This has a hole too. That's the back side. So, however you want to feed that inside, we're going to glue that inside this, just like this. So, we kind of get it stabilized. We can go ahead and put some glue on these tabs, glue it down. And then we're going to glue this shape on the bottom. But first, let's make sure that it's aligned the right way. This is correct. If you flip it around, you can see that it's kind of off then. So we want it to be like that. Oops. Next, I'm going to get out the pieces for the main part of his body. They're all numbered. Your machine will have cut a number into the side of these pieces, which I darkened in with a marker so they're easier to see in this video. You don't have to do that unless you want to. So as you can see, this area here has a valley fold at the top and the bottom on each of these pieces. Otherwise, all the other folds are regular mountain folds. That's because his jacket curves in for the belt to go on, so that's why it's folded, you know, differently there. So we are going to glue these together side to side, starting with 1 through 8. And they're all slightly different, but the principle is the same, just one at a time, lining it up carefully. Give the first one a little extra time. And that's it. So let's go ahead and glue all 8 of them together side to side. For this piece, I'm going to first glue all these vertical tabs. Then I'm going to go from the inside and get those smaller ones after everything is kind of anchored into place. So I'll just get those out of the way a little bit. So I keep having to, I keep having to redo some things in this video. I think because it's been so long since I made my first toy soldier that I kind of forgot some of the little must-do things. Same with the other projects in this kit. I'm afraid to mess this up again. I don't want to have to go recut shapes and stuff. I'm on a tight time schedule. I need to be ready and go to my parents' house later today with my husband. Do a little Christmas hanging with the fam. Should be fun. Some delicious food, I'm sure. I haven't even really thought about gifts at all. Mostly I pretty much only get gifts for my little, well, not so little anymore, nieces and nephews. But the older ones I just kind of get gift cards for. And then the younger ones are a lot of fun to shop for, as I'm sure you would agree. Shopping for kids, so much fun. I just realized I forgot to glue down some of these from before, but that's okay. So yeah, 3 of my nieces and nephews are going to be going off to college next year. They're seniors in high school, which I can't believe how fast everybody grows up. It's completely nuts. And then some of the younger ones are getting bigger and more interested in other stuff, and a lot of times their mom makes them an Amazon wish list just for when people ask what they would like for their birthday or whatever, which is really helpful if you're trying to pick out a gift. Usually sometimes I use it, sometimes I just have fun going rogue and finding other stuff. Especially for my one niece, she's like, see, that's bad. How old is she? 7 maybe, I want to say, which is pretty much maybe my, favorite range of ages as far as like games and toys go, things that she'd be into. So much fun. We'll see. I think for her birthday I got her like a little wrestling mat, like little for little Playmobil guys. I think they have like a wrestler, or no, it was hockey. It was hockey, a little hockey rink. Super cool. So yeah, you'll have to comment below if you have done any super fun shopping for Christmas, or if you have anything in particular that you're looking forward to the most. Maybe some kind of favorite recipe or something. All right. So now I can close this up with some glue on this final line of tabs here. Next, let's go ahead and put these in place before we put the top on, just because it's easier, I think, to get this in there and be able to squeeze it from the inside. So I'm putting it right about there. Maybe scooch it forward a little bit, just like that. So that'll just be right there. Next, I'm going to grab one of these, it doesn't matter which one it is, and I put some glue on that front tab there, and I will just anchor that right inside. And then bend it in, put some glue on all these. And then if you have some kind of utensil handy, Kind of get those down. And then I'll just put that remaining piece right on the top after I put some glue on it. Just like this. It's a little tricky to reach inside there. So ignore my belt right here. I jumped the gun a little bit. First we want to put these straps down, and if you have them like this, that's fine, or like this is also fine. So first I'm going to put a couple dots there. And line that up so that the folds are lining up with the edges there. And then these just get secured with a dot of glue. Where you see it, there's a little score line you can use as a guideline to kind of help you. So you're just going to secure it with some glue here and here, as well as in the front, and then you can put your belt on. So next we can put the belt on. It looks like this, and this middle section here is going to go right on the front, just like that. So we can go ahead and wrap this around. Just like that. So if you want to put your little belt buckle on, I'm going to do that too with one of these 3D foam squares by Scrapbook Adhesives, just right there front and center. Next I've got the two arms, the left and the right. Your machine will have cut this into the paper here, but I darkened it in with a marker just so you could see it better in this video. And I went ahead and folded all of the score lines just over regularly, and then I'm going to see where I need to bend them backwards. So here it'll be like that, like this, and just kind of all fits together like a little puzzle. So the only different fold is just right here. So it's fitting together just like this. I'm just gluing all these tabs into place so that we have a final arm like that. So this is a kind of a wacky shape. The reason it is because I really wanted it to just be one piece instead of having multiple pieces to identify and put together. I don't know, what do you think? Tell me below if you think it's cool that it's all one piece. It makes it easier, or does that make it a little trickier to make? Is it worth it? I mean, it's not too bad, but there's a little trade-off there. So tell me your thoughts in the comments, please. So there we go. And then I'll just fold the top over with some glue on these guys. So now for our right arm, it's all folded, all the fold lines are folded. I'm just going to see where I might need to curve it differently or bend it differently. There we go. So, getting close to finishing up this arm here. It's exciting. I'm not sure what to make next, but I'm going to enjoy a little bit of work-free holiday party time after this. Super exciting. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself too for the holidays, whatever you may celebrate. I'll probably, actually next, I think I will go update my Nutcracker project, my original Nutcracker, because it's been a little while since I came out with it and times have changed a little bit. I don't think it includes optional solid score lines or the whole project saved as a single file, which is easier to upload into some cutting machine software such as the Cricut Design Space software, and also update it for that weird matte problem that the Silhouette Studio software is now having with my SVG files. So there's a few good reasons to update it. But if anyone's interested in making that again, or making it for the first time, there's an update coming at some point. I will let you know. Next, I have some little trim for the shoulders, the cuffs, the shoulders, and the hands. So I'm just going to throw these together. My biggest fear right now is that I'm going to put this together and be talking and look and realize that I have not been recording. I've done that before. I feel like I'm scatterbrained lately. I don't know why. I think it's just a lot going on at once, maybe. So next, grab either one of these and put a couple dots in the top there. Maybe hold on to it for a second so it takes hold. Then I will put a few dots on this, and either one, and just wrap that around. So it's going to be going like this on his body. And one of these, I believe it's this one. So we want these triangular pointy parts on the outside like that. This one goes here. That's the one that's a little more curved, I guess. So even just a couple dots on the end is fine. And then you can put it right up against the bottom or a little bit above. So there is the two arms, and then these two hands have some score lines. So I'll put some glue on this rounded part and bend that around. If you have something to use to kind of stabilize it and press down, that could be helpful. I suppose I could have curved it a little better so it didn't crease. Like this. This one's going to go right there. You can see it's a little bit, it would be a little too tall for that one, so you know you've got the right one. So you might want to hold that for a little bit longer than normal to let it dry. Next I've got the pant legs and the shoes, as well as the tops of the boots here. And they are labeled with left and right. And your machine will have cut that into your shape which I made more visible with a marker for this video. So for the pant legs, we're just gonna close up the seam and then fold over the top and bottom. Super straightforward. So same thing with the other leg. Side tab and then top and bottom. Next for the shoes, they're actually just mirror images of each other. They're the same. They work the same way, so we'll just close this up here. So I've got my shoe like this. The part with the letter on it is the top of the shoe, and that's the bottom. So since the top is going to be more visible, I'm going to do that first. It'll be easier to make it play nice with the bottom open. So then we can fold this over and glue this down. So you can go ahead and put the other shoe together the same exact way. So next this is how they're going to be going. Next you're going to take these two pieces, they're interchangeable, and affix them with just one dot of glue right onto the front of your boots at the very bottom. So this is going to get bent forward and it's going to end up right here. So on this piece here that's flat right now, which is, I'm talking about these two pieces here, go ahead and glue these each onto the bottom, right onto the front, before you lace them up, which we'll do next. So next there are two pieces that look similar to this. There's a left and a right. I am going to go ahead and do some of this this lacing up while it's open and flat. So this is just some hemp cord that I had in my stash of ribbon and whatnot. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It says that it's 20 pound. So however you want to lace it up as a boot, there's probably, I'm sure there's more than one way to lace up a toy soldier's boot. I'm going to do a little crisscrossy type of thing. If it's easier for you to use a needle with a really large hole to get it through, depending on what you're using and if that helps. Mine has like a thicker section. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, getting close, getting close. So that's how I did mine. It's somewhat snug. So here's my flat piece that I've laced up. I'm going to take the corresponding one, and I want the R facing me, and that's where the front is going to go. So I'll just wrap that around and then put some glue here. Ignore the fact that mine looks messed up because I goofed up for the 12th time today. I don't know what is going wrong with my brain. Too much in it at once. Can't handle it. I needed to take a sabbatical. So yours will not be all torn up and funky. So you want to glue that closed and then glue the bottom shut. If there's still some space down there, you can kind of flatten it out. And then if you have any white showing through at the corners, you could take a Sharpie and color it in. Mine came out pretty good. So then I'm going to put glue all over this bottom, kind of a little bit heavy, a tiny bit heavier than normal. And then I'm going to glue that right onto the foot right there. So you can see exactly right there. So we want to do the same thing with the other foot. So here are my legs. Yours will look a little different with the proper lacing and everything. Whatever you decide to do will be really cute. So just so you know, his left is actually his left leg. So when you're looking at it from the front, it'll look like this. So next, let's put the base together. There are 3 sides like that, and if you want to make it curve a little more nicely, you can use something like this, like a pen even, to kind of curve it ahead of time. Helps a little bit. And then we'll just glue these together side to side for starters. So that forms the outside sides. Then we've got the panel, some trim, 3 identical circles, and then a donut that's the same size. Then this is going to go inside just for support. Might as well go ahead and put that together. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be flat, nice and flat. Then I'm just going to pick a side and bend these a little more sharply over. And also kind of get these out of the way. Next, I'm going to put a ring of glue around the outside of this circle. And put that right down inside. Next, we can glue one of the circles onto this side here. Just like this. And that will be the top. So if you would like, you can go ahead and glue your trim ring on the top. So next, let's put this donut shape in place and then fold over the rest of these. Mine's not aligned the greatest. Yours will probably be a little more precise. So basically we want these all folded over. Then I'm going to put glue around close to the edge of this, as well as here. And glue that right down. So next I'm going to glue my head onto the body here. So yours will have a bottom on it. My head is missing its bottom. But same idea, just put some glue on yours on the bottom. And you're just going to center that right on top of the body. Next I'm going to glue my arms on, and I'm just putting glue on this top part here. If you want to do one at a time to be more careful, you can. I'm going to go ahead and stick both of mine on at the same time. Which is probably not the best idea. So you'll definitely want to hold this for a little extra time as it dries. Next I'm going to glue my shoes down. And I want them to be facing forward right about here. I want them to be kind of barely touching, just right there. Next we're going to glue this right onto it. And if you take a look, there's a There's a tab inside that has a hole in it. That's the back. It's probably not super crucial, but where you see that little hole is the back of that. If you wanted to use hot glue for this part, you could. It's not a bad idea, but not totally necessary. So we can let that dry a little bit, and then you just set them together. So there's the bottom, there's the top. If you wanted to try to glue this together carefully, there's nothing wrong with that. Makes it a little more permanent and a little more stable. If someone, you know, walks up and picks it up, it doesn't come apart, but that's up to you. Next, to put our face together, I'm going to glue the nose onto this brown part, just like that, and then glue that onto this piece. Just like that. So to compare, I will go ahead and glue this on. And I want it to be right about there. Here we go. And then as you can see, where I've got the other parts here, right about there. Your eyes, which I put right up against that seam, about yay far from the cheek. Just like that. He's just not the same without those eyebrows. So just a little dot of glue there, and then put it right about there. And I just left them kind of sticking off the sides there, just like the mustache. And then finally that little white dot of with the gel pen really does make a difference to me. I think it looks really cute, because that's very cute, but I think I'm a bigger fan of having the little white dots on the eyes. So if you wanted to do that, again, this is just a white gel pen. The brand is Sakura. I've gotten them on Amazon before. They come in a pack of 3, or I think they might have them at Michael's. But it's cool because you can write on dark paper and see it, and it just makes the eye look so lifelike. I'm pretty sure I learned that from Cheryl Becker also, who's one of my longtime online craft friends and a former design team member, back when I had a design team. Don't anymore. Maybe someday. It was awesome, but I have way too much on my plate still. So, next, for the star. This is the back of it. This goes inside of it, these two. And we might as well put those in. Well, first let's take these two pieces here. The only thing left are these two, this guy and this long one. So we've got this. These definitely go together like this. And I have gone ahead and folded every fold over, just regular mountain folds. We're going to go back and do a couple valley folds. So the inside here, we want that to be valley folded. So not the points, but the parts between the points, basically. As well as at the bottom of the star too. So there and there. Okay, bring this down a little so you can see. It always helps to look at what you're trying to make while you're trying to make it. So there's the front. Again, you can be more meticulous if you want. I am rushing a little bit because I need this video to be done really badly. So there's the front of our star. These are the sides. And this is basically going to go around it like this. So here is how we want it to go, like this. So as you can see, here's how the star is shaped. The final version of it, it kind of goes, it tapers into a smaller one in the front. So the front's smaller than the back. So when you're trying to see which, if you're wondering, oh, does it go like this or does it go like that? This side is bigger. This side is tapering smaller towards the front. So this is the front. And we're basically just going to glue this inside the star like that. So let's start with a few parts. Just like this. So again, I'm not being as careful as I was the first time I made this. You can take your time a little bit more than I am right now, so that yours is more meticulous. This is probably one of the most rushed things I've done on camera before. I'm not feeling so proud of myself. But you get the idea. This is how the star is working. These are going to get opened up. This will get put inside. And you can glue all of these tabs down to your star like this. Glue them all down, then put glue all over it and cover it up with this backing piece, just like that. Then you can finagle your star inside with a dot of glue on it, with the smaller one on top, on the inside. And this is how your star will look. For the staff, it looks like this. It's just a very long rectangular shape. So you can put glue all the way down its side tab there and close it up. Then fold over these little triangles with some glue on them. You can do that on both sides. Then put some glue here and affix it to the bottom of your star and hold it so that it dries for a little while. Then you can fit it through this way, and then when you have it positioned right, you can kind of turn it so that the star is facing out right through his little hand. So you're just going to carefully fit it inside. You have to kind of twist it to shove it through. So it's a pretty tight fit there, and you can make it even tighter by twisting it if you want, or not. It's up to you. So there you have it, fun new projects for Christmas and beyond, some of them beyond. I hope you have a great time making them. If you do, please share a picture with us on Facebook. I'm having a hard time keeping up with all of your guys' amazing photos that you've been sharing. I'm sorry if you've posted something and I haven't commented on it and loved it. I will be going back. Some of those are getting away from me, but I've been really swamped with some updates and stuff and just everything. So I apologize for taking a little while to come out with this video and these projects too. I wish it was sooner. But with that being said, please do share your pictures with us on Facebook, on your blog, pin them on Pinterest, Instagram. I've been doing some fan photo reshares on Instagram. I just figured out how to do that. It's a little tricky for me. So be sure and follow us there if you do Instagram. So that's it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas and happy everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Somebody got tuckered out, thank goodness.